The Tournament of Terror's back. There's 12 movies, but only one champion.
Let's see who slashes their way to the finish line and can hold the trophy.
Welcome to our podcast. I'm Brett Hayes.
I am Steven with a PH, and we are back with another Tournament of Terror. We have finished another 12 horror movies. Good night. I have watched so many horror movies in the last few months. Like, this is ridiculous, but we're back with another Tournament of Terror to see who can hoist the trophy to be the best horror movie out of this second batch.
Yeah, so 24 movies down. Do you feel like less of a horror hater?
No, I feel like some of these have increased my horror hating. Yeah, there's some of them that I'm like, okay, all right, this franchise isn't as bad as I thought it was, or it's not as corny or whatever. But then there's some of them that I've watched and I'm like, oh, this shouldn't be a genre.
Yeah, man, I get it. Well, I kind of don't get it. I think that this lineup of 12 is actually really good. The last lineup of 12 we had was, a shot in the dark. I think there was only like one, possibly two movies that I had a less than favorable review on, but I think all of these got positive reviews from me. So
for the most part, I believe.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited. We've got the likes of Jason Voorhees in here. We have Deadites galore. We have the Frankenhooker herself. We even have one of Steven's personal favorites, a giallo film.
Yay!
So we're trying to figure out, how did the Tournament of Terror happen? Steven, run us through.
Well, you see, what had happened was I watched we try to record a couple episodes at a time, and we used to, back in the day, we were doing 2 movies per episode. And so I was we were getting ready pre-podcast, and we were talking about the second movie that we were going over that night, and Brett was very confused as to all of my issues with the movie because they didn't sound anything like what was happening in the movie that he told me to watch. And I realized that I watched a different movie called Heretic, because apparently there's no like copyrights on these names, so you can just use the same name over and over and over again for different movies. And so this episode, though, we are going to have the real Heretic that was supposed to be watched that night, competing for the Tournament of Terror trophy. So we kind of have got it righted, and someday we might review that other movie, Heretic, that I accidentally watched, and we'll have to friggin' watch again. So here we go with another classic. We've got to mix it up this time a little bit. Brett, why don't you tell us about the seeding for this?
Yeah, so the first time we did it, we went off based on our scores of the movies, our combined scores. And while that was okay, I felt like it kind of shortchanged some of the movies that were going up against each other. So this time I just put it into like a random number generator. It threw all the movies out. And without further ado, those movies that are seeded, we have Friday the 13th as the 1 seed.
The final chapter.
It's going to take a first round bye. Up next, the 8 and 9 respectively are Evil Dead Rise and Vacancy, one of our picks from a viewer. A Nightmare on Elm Street comes in, followed by a matchup between Army of Darkness Evil Dead and Evil Dead the remake reboot 2013.
Yeah, Nightmare on Elm getting the other bye.
Yeah,
that's the bracket.
Yeah, Tucker and Dale will go on a bye, and then we have Evil Dead Burn and Frankenhooker up against each other, the 7th and 10th seeds, and then Heretic, the correct Heretic, made it on a bye, which leaves Tenebrae at the 6th seed against Friday the 13th Part 3 at the 11th seed. let's hop into it, man. So we know Friday the 13th's moving on, the final chapter. Evil
Yep.
Dead Rise versus Vacancy.
Whew. I feel like this one might be kind of easy, but then at the same
Okay.
time, maybe not.
Okay.
Like
What's
if
your
we're
heart telling you?
my heart is telling me that Vacancy is the movie that I would rather watch.
Really?
Because yeah, Evil Dead Rise was. I mean, the gore in that one is definitely a lot better. The effects are much better. It's a more modern movie that has been made, in the last decade or so. But Vacancy, even though it was a little bit tight and didn't have some of the I feel like I cared about the characters at least a little bit more in that one. It was one that
Yeah.
kind of had some more intriguing plots where you're sitting around kind of wondering what's going to happen instead of just waiting for the next deadite to dismember themselves and then try to dismember the other people.
I
That's
mean,
that's where I'm standing on this one.
okay. So I'm a little torn because I do like Vacancy, I think, more than I like Evil Dead Rise. However, when I think about it, they both kind of suffer from their own plots.
Yeah,
Vacancy also, while it had good direction and we had two really good actors that we didn't really get to flesh out everything of their characters.
yeah.
And I think that on like a popcorn movie type deal, I'd rather watch Evil Dead Rise usually. So,
Okay.
but I am comfortable because it's close and I do agree with everything you had to say about Vacancy. I'm comfortable with letting Vacancy move on.
Let's give it to Vacancy. Is
Okay.
that one? Yeah, that one at least has a little bit more of a story to it, even though they don't flesh out the total background of the characters and everything like that. You can use your context clues and get it, but yeah, I feel like I care more about those characters, and it's a little bit I don't know. It kind of has
Yeah.
some different beats to it where it mixes it up a little bit more than Evil Dead Rise. It just kind of it gets to a certain point, and then it's just like, cool, foot to the gas, here we go, and we're also retconning a bunch of shit. Can't use the shotgun anymore.
Ah,
So
yeah, that did bother me. But
yeah.
Homeboy was dope when he shot that Deadite or Ellie
Oh,
as the Deadite and she went
yep.
flying. I was like, hell yeah. Like I was
Yeah.
ready.
That was
So
a fun moment, and then it was
it
immediately
was.
ruined by the retcon. So
Yeah.
I believe
So the
based on that,
next
Vacancy is going to take it.
Sure. So the next one we got is Army of Darkness versus Evil Dead 2013. Steven, why should Evil Dead 2013 move on?
Because it is the objectively the better movie. Once again, this was one of the first horror movies that I watched way back in the day, and kind of started the whole idea for this podcast, even though we didn't know it yet. But upon my second viewing, it did grow on me a little bit, and so yeah, it is just like the reboot with this one really did work. It was another thing where you had these more dynamic characters that you cared about a little bit more, and were kind of interested to see where they went. Regardless of Eric being just the second biggest douche in the Evil Dead
Ooh.
franchise, behind Joe in
Oh
Evil Dead
yeah, Joe
Burn.
sucks.
Joe
Joe
sucks so
sucks.
hard.
Okay, that was an
So
easy one. I agree.
yeah,
Evil Dead 2013 blows Army of Darkness out of the water.
yep.
Um, my
Army of
next,
Darkness was still, it's still a fun movie if you want to have more of a laughing time and kind of turn your brain off a little bit more. It still has its merits, but Evil Dead 2013 is going to take it.
okay, recency bias versus prostitute murderer. Evil Dead Burn and Frankenhooker. Who you got, Steven? What is your heart telling you?
My heart is telling me Frankenhooker. Because once again, I was just so annoyed with Evil Dead Burn. And in Frankenhooker, you at least get to see some boobs. And you get that funny newscast at the beginning with the
Oh,
salad named Elizabeth. So
and mannequin explosions.
you get
So,
mannequin explosions, you get some cool lightning effects, you get purple nipples and just a good old time. You have fun characters in there, and it's one that you can have fun with despite our protestations towards the end of the movie, where they just
Right.
kind of had their funniest part really at the beginning of the movie, and then the rest of the comedy just didn't kind of live up to that newscast at the beginning. But
Right.
despite all that, yeah,
We
I would
came for
still say,
the newscast and stayed for the purple nipples.
yep. So it
Yeah.
it it evened itself out in the end. But Evil Dead Burn was just you gotta watch this pussy Joe just not do anything with his life at all until he finally gets turned into a deadite. So
You know what bothers me about that is I saw a lot of people defending him and it's like, "Oh, well, like at the end though, he made it all right. Like he gave her the information she needed to stop everything." And I was like, he'd been
too little,
thrown
too
through
late,
like,
bruh. Didn't even tell her
yeah,
which dagger it was. She had to do
been
trial and
thrown
error.
through 10 walls. Like, okay.
Yeah. This is and yeah, and you're helping out not even your girlfriend.
No,
So it's like you couldn't save your girlfriend, but yeah, you'll finally whenever you're about to die, you get the information out that
sure.
should have been brought up in the
Hmm.
first place. But
Yeah,
also you
should have.
made another Book of the Dead. So like fuck you, dude.
Yeah, bad on you.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Joe.
Fuck you,
The
Joe.
next big matchup, Tenebrae against Friday the 13th Part 3.
Ooh. This
What
one
do
is
you
another
think?
easy one. Friday the 13th part 3. Even though I didn't get to watch it in 3D, yeah, no, Tenebrae, I have a like I feel like I have like just a generational grudge against Dario Argento. Like my children will curse his name. Like he just, oh my gosh, that movie was so annoying.
I feel
Friday the
bad
13th at least wasn't
because
dubbed.
Italian horror is just not going to do well here, I don't think. Like,
Yeah,
we are going to keep trying. We're going to keep watching Italian horror, but it's so far, it's not been my jam. I know that, you
yeah,
know.
definitely not my jam either. Or the
Yeah.
peanut butter. No.
Okay. All right,
So,
you're done.
all
All right,
right,
you're done.
okay, fine. Well,
Friday the 13th. We're now on the second round of this thing. The first round went by pretty quick. Some of those matchups were a little sideways, but
yeah.
round two, first one up is Friday the 13th, the final chapter versus Vacancy.
Okay. What are your thoughts on this one?
The final chapter.
Final
Um,
chapter.
I think it's more entertaining. The you don't come to Friday the 13th for a massive story. This one does have one though,
Yeah.
and I like it. I like the story in this movie. I like seeing the Crispin Glover dance. I like seeing Corey Feldman freak out when he gets to see real boobs for the first time from his bedroom window. Um, yeah, man. I hate Teddy Bear, but what are you gonna do? I also hate the killers from Vacancy, or two out of three of them at least.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
I
And
think Friday the
even
13th, the
though they
final
never use
chapter,
those
just
masks.
has better. I just think it has better staying power. So I prefer it.
I would tend to agree with that. So vacancy, you did a good job beating up on one of the Evil Dead in the first round. But the Cinderella story is come to an end here.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
we're gonna say the final chapter moves on as the dominant one seed.
This is gonna be a really tough one. A Nightmare on Elm Street versus Evil Dead 2013. These are two movies that I have up there. And I don't really go like the Tournament of Terror isn't something that I'm like, oh, well, I ranked this movie higher than this movie, so that's the one I'm picking. Um, if you watched our first Tournament of Terror, it definitely came down for me for most of it as rewatchability. But there's also some things that just I would tend to just revisit a movie for, you know. A
Mhm.
Nightmare on Elm Street, it's got some awesome effects, but so does Evil Dead 2013. I think the story of A Nightmare on Elm Street is far better than Evil Dead 2013, though Evil Dead 2013 has a strong story. At least they set up the story very well. Um, This is going to be a really tough one for me. I think I like the characters by far and away way more in A Nightmare on Elm Street, but the reigning blood of Evil Dead 2013 is just so fucking cool.
That's the thing is like I do feel like the the story I like the story of Nightmare on Elm Street. It's really compelling. There is this kind of like mystery about it, and I'm interested to kind of see like how that progresses and stuff. But yeah, the story is still there for Evil Dead 2013 as well,
Mm-hmm.
and and I think whenever you combine it with the gore and just the great effects in that movie, I think it might nudge out Nightmare for me, but
Ooh,
it is really close.
it's a
Uh,
close one.
because yeah, and I understand, Nightmare is like it's a classic, so like it kind of has some of that extra little weight behind it, but yeah, upon my second viewing, like Evil Dead 2013 was just a lot better than I kind of remembered it being, and it's one that like I feel like I could probably watch again.
Damn.
So it's a tough one on this one. I mean, like, are we coin tossing it? Like, what are we doing here?
So, you know what? Just uh because of your story and because you've said like, hey, this was a movie I hated and on my second viewing I came to love, and it was kind of the
I
reason
wouldn't
that,
say love. Like, that's a
well,
strong
pretty
word.
much
Okay,
he loves it. We all
I
heard it. He
like this
loves it.
movie. Okay,
I like, not love.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll give Evil Dead 2013 the nod then. I love A Nightmare on Elm Street, so I don't know how to process this, but I
dude,
do
upsets
agree that
happen,
Evil
man.
Dead 2013 is a badass movie.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm not I wish it was going up against Vacancy.
Yeah, it was. Sometimes the bracket just falls in a bad way, and you
It
get one
does.
of those matchups that's like, yeah, maybe this should have been the championship, um,
Maybe.
but Tucker and Dale versus Evil still on there, so
Ah, with that being said, Tucker and Dale versus Evil versus Frankenhooker.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil, that's an easy one,
I,
hundred
I think
percent.
so too. A Frankenhooker is so much fun, but it's not near as fun as Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Frankenhooker is like one of those movies that you find on a shelf and you're not mad at it. You're like, oh, yeah, this is better than I thought it would be.
Yeah,
Tucker and Dale vs. Evil is the exact same way times 10.
yeah,
Yeah, like if
just
I saw the poster for it, I would think, oh, this is gonna be like a really cheesy movie. And then you watch it and you're like, holy shit, this movie's got heart. So um Tucker and Dale vs. Evil is awesome. I have
e-
no problem letting that one move on to the
easy win for me.
semifinal. Heretic and Friday the 13th Part 3.
Okay, I am thinking that the correct version of Heretic. Uh, I think it's gonna beat out Friday the 13th Part 3. And it's just for the fact that it is a little bit more of a serious movie, and the
Mhm.
tone of it is a little bit more horror-y. So it's not as much of a popcorn flick, but it's one that like really gets you locked into it. It's one that like whenever you get down to the story of it and the way that it's done and the way that it's shot, it's just that the acting is also really really good. So I would probably gonna lean towards Heretic in this scenario.
Yeah, Heretic is an amazing movie. Friday the 13th Part 3, I've said it before, is one that I revisit a lot. I rewatch it a good amount. I am gonna end my life at some point. Well, wait, hold on. My life will end at some point, and I will have watched Friday the 13th Part 3 many more times than Heretic.
Yeah.
However, I love Heretic. I think that is a phenomenal movie. I think even though a small cast, everybody crushes it. The story is great. It's fresh. I like that part about it too. The gore is disgusting.
Hmm.
Um, Yeah, man, and a general creepiness of just human beings. There's no
Yeah,
big bad man coming for you. It is the a
just one
really
regular bad man.
smart, yeah, is a really smart dude who uh makes people's lives a living hell. So,
Yep. But does it
Heretic's
in a
movie.
very intellectual way, you know?
Absolutely.
He's
I
not
just
just
it's
mindlessly out here just snatching bitches out of lakes and stuff like. No, he's got a process and he has a reason for why he's doing this, I
yeah.
suppose.
The semifinal is upon us. Friday the 13th, the final chapter, who is the 1 seed, is coming up against Evil Dead 2013, which was the 12th seed.
Oh man, we got a Cinderella story brewing right here with the 12 seed. What are your initial thoughts on this
Final chapter is not my favorite Friday the 13th movie.
one?
Uh, Evil
I,
Dead 2013 is my favorite Evil Dead movie.
that makes sense.
So
Um,
I think for me, Evil Dead 2013 is better. Am I gonna be mad at either one? I'll be mad that Friday the 13th, the final chapter, beat A Nightmare on Elm Street. So,
no, that
um,
that makes sense. And this is another one that like I can kind of go either way with. Like I feel
okay.
like I have a little bit more like maybe a little bit more fun with the final chapter.
Oh,
um
okay.
you get some, some different antics and stuff in it, and it's just, yeah, it's a little bit different. But Evil Dead 2013 is also, it is a kind of a heavy hitter despite getting randomized into the 12 seed. So whenever you
I
combine the
know.
gore, the little bit of lore that we get, and the fact that you can still use a shotgun, um like
Yeah.
I think Evil Dead 2013 might be the one.
And
If
that's no like disparaging the final chapter. The final chapter is a really good movie, and it is an excellent Friday the 13th movie. There are not a
Yeah,
bunch of excellent Friday the 13th movies, though I do enjoy a lot of them. But this is one of them. One of the probably three that I would say are like, hey, that is an excellent movie. So, I mean, it's closer than it probably seems with me, but Evil Dead 2013 is so fucking badass. I love that movie. So,
yeah. So we'll send Evil Dead 2013 into the championship match.
all right.
Who
So the
would have thunk it?
other semifinal, Tucker and Dale versus Evil versus Heretic.
Tucker and Dale. I mean, this is going to be an easy one for me. I would watch
Oh,
Tucker and Dale every day of the week if I had to. And it's one that is just, it's so enjoyable. And yeah, like the the gore and the story, and just like the creepy, Hugh Grant stuff, like he's great. And Heretic is a fantastic movie. But I think that you can take like anything from script to acting to, character dynamics and chemistry and everything like that. And Tucker and Dale is just checking all the boxes. Where you get that dynamic between Tucker and Dale, where you feel like they've been old friends. The comedy in it is just perfect, but it's not over. It's not like overemphasized. It's like there's so much subtle comedy in it as well, and these old things that are like throwaway lines almost, that are hilarious, and it all just seems so natural, and it's really well done, and the gore in it is still really really good. They did not skimp on any of the blood and guts effects
sure.
for Tucker and Dale. So like I'm gonna have to give that one the nod on my end.
What I would argue for Heretic is that, I mean, you mentioned the script, character dynamics, the acting. I think Heretic trumps Tucker and Dale vs. Evil in all of those categories. I think the acting is by far and away better in Heretic. I think the script is so much smarter in the Heretic. I mean, like
Well, yeah,
we
it's
praise Tucker and Dale vs. Evil for their script. I mean, and the dialogue that was written, the way it was delivered. Um, you didn't have to praise Heretic for that. that's like an added bonus. Like you knew it from the moment that it started. You were like, oh yeah, this is good. Everybody's crushing it. This is you have to kind of play up a comedy and be like, hey, this is actually like really good, and there's no A-list actors in here, but they're all like really amazing. Like go watch this film. Heretic is not that way. Heretic came out with some heavy swinging, with some people who are on their game and in their bag. It's not funny, or most of it's not funny. There are funny parts, far and few between. But man, Heretic is you don't see another movie like Heretic. There are Tucker and Dale type movies out there.
I haven't seen one, but
You haven't seen them yet. There's
okay.
some really fun movies out there. Not I don't think done as well as Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. Um, but we've seen the location. It's an Evil Dead type movie. We've seen most of the kills. The comedy is really the only thing that holds Tucker and Dale over really anything else we've had on this list. It's the only like really funny movie besides maybe Frankenhooker.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, Rats had its like moments
oh, Rats.
of
Rats
being
had some
funny.
laugh
So
out loud moments for sure.
yeah, I love selling crack. I love selling. Yeah, no. So I mean, we've seen some funny movies, but that's the thing is like Tucker and Dale just blast all the other ones out of the water with the comedy, and still gives you all the blood and guts that everybody wants to see. It's I mean, here's the thing. I don't want to say that I'll like quit the podcast if Tucker and Dale versus Evil doesn't move on, but it's just
We're doing ultimatums now.
on.
Oh
Yeah,
Lord.
I don't know, but
You're letting the gingivitis take over, dude.
well, I mean, what should we coin flip this one?
We should
Since
coin
it's
flip this. This
I've
is a
I've
coin flip.
I've got a quarter right here.
If this were live, we would just let somebody else pick the winner.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So we've
coin
got
flip it.
or actually
Heads will
here.
be Tucker and Dale.
Yes. So heads will be I have this weird silver coin. So if you
Also,
can
I would
see.
have moved it on like, oh, which one had a buy, which one was, like seated and stuff, but they
It's
both
like they're
had
both
buys.
they're
So
the 2 and the 3, man. Like they're just if you want to go by seating, Tucker and Dale wins. So but
right.
all right, so we got the tails side for Heretic.
Heretic.
We got
Hmm.
heads for Tucker and Dale. We're gonna give this thing. We're gonna do that flip again because that coin went wild. Okay,
Okay, release it
it
to the cam.
is. It is heads.
Tucker and Dale versus
It
Evil
is gonna
moves
be Tucker
on.
and Dale versus Evil. I don't have to quit the podcast. We're good. Woo! So
Well, it
this is
brings us.
kind of crazy because this brings the first two movies that we watched in
Yeah,
a head-to-head battle for the
yeah.
championship match.
Evil
Give
Dead
me
2013, Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Oh man, this one is tough because I love both of these movies. I showed them both to you at around the same time,
yeah.
probably in the same
I
either
think it
day
was
or week.
probably in the same week, yeah, at least.
Oh man, I think for me, between these two, I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Evil Dead 2013.
See him over there on the other side, back with Tucker and Dale, just ready for another fishing trip, man.
I
Uh,
I just they're they're in similar locations.
yeah.
This
Well,
is
I mean,
gonna
it's an Evil
be
Dead, like homage or whatever, or a parody.
sure.
So
Yeah. It's a tournament of terror. I think Evil Dead 2013 is much more terrifying than Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. I think the ending of Evil Dead 2013 kills Tucker and Dale vs. Evil's ending. Um, we all know the last 20 minutes of Tucker and Dale vs. Evil is not my jam. It's not bad. It's just not for me, and I think it goes on longer than it should. And while there are scenes in Evil Dead 2013, mostly just when she gets revived, that goes on a little bit longer than I wanted it to, I think that the movie is paced much better than Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. I also think it's really like they're both pretty smart movies for what they
Yeah.
are. Evil Dead 2013, the whole premise of yeah, the drug addicted sister and friend of all these people. That's how we're ushered out into the woods. They bought a vacation home that looked way different on the listing. And that's what ushers them into the woods. I like both of these movies a lot.
Yeah, you both have a hateable, character in Chad with Tucker and Dale versus Evil, and with Eric in Evil Dead 2013. Yeah, I mean, it is definitely they're two very different stories,
Absolutely.
and paced quite differently. But as far as like acting goes, both of these hold their own with the
Yeah.
acting and with the storyline. They kind of they do make a little bit more sense and follow along versus some of the other Evil Dead movies. I still have my questions about why are you going in that fucking basement?
Yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah. I mean, I get it. You know, it's hey, we have to stay the week here.
I mean, you
What's
don't.
in the
You're
fucking
humans with
basement?
free will. Like
Right.
you can go to another campsite. There's probably a KOA like right down the road, man. Just like
Maybe. But what we've seen, because the lore in Evil Dead is ever evolving, what we have seen is that if maybe they got in their cars and were like, nope, fuck this, and they start to drive off, it gets washed out anyway. The bridge gets
and
washed out.
here's the
The
thing,
bridge
KOA
breaks,
is
you know.
probably not the best place to stay away from drugs.
Mm.
So just having stayed at one fairly recently, some of the folks there looked a little horror movie ish. So
Started
yeah.
messing with you out there?
They didn't start messing with me, but there was a creepy little pond and some people that if you came upon them at a gas station and they were holding a scythe, you would definitely be a little unnerved.
Right.
Uh, so yeah, what do we
So tell me why Tucker and Dale vs. Evil deserves to win this Tournament of Terror over Evil Dead 2013.
I would say for me, it's really just about the enjoyability of it, and maybe I am biased from not being a horror movie fan, where it's like, cool, I can handle the blood and guts, but I want some yucks along with the guts, and that's one thing. Even just on my other viewings of Tucker and Dale, every time I rewatch it, it's just like there's some other little line that just hits.
It's
It
funny.
is literally
So
the
funny.
one of the hardest that I've ever laughed was in this movie, and so maybe that doesn't lend itself to being the tournament of terror winner. So I can see that, but yeah, this is just one that like I will like I'll forever love this movie, and
Hmm.
anybody like it's something that I'll recommend to anybody, even if they're
Sure.
they're not horror fans. Um, Something that I'm like, here's the thing, you can still enjoy this if you are not a horror movie fan. If as long as you can handle a little bit of blood and guts and stuff,
Hmm.
you'll be fine. But like you'll be crying, laughing throughout this thing.
Sure.
But that's
Yeah,
that's what really does it for me.
it's one of the interesting things for me is that these are two movies that I have championed and have definitely um,
They're kind of
broadcasted to people who are
both your
not.
go-tos for
I
introducing
know,
horror movies to
like, hey,
people.
like I have a really funny movie that'll like ease you into it, and then I have like a really like extreme, or I mean, not to today's standards, but when it came out was an extreme horror movie
Yeah.
that doesn't really cross the line in any way, but is, for some people absolutely terrifying. Um, and is written well, so which is rare for a serious horror movie. Man, I'm struggling with this because I love them both. I really do.
Do we need to do another coin flip?
Another coin toss to
No.
settle the
The
Tournament of
championship.
Terror.
I know
I don't
it's
know.
crazy.
Uh, do we
But
do
I mean,
another
we could
coin
even do like a
toss?
2 out of 3
Two
if
out
we
of
really
three.
want. It's like really beef up the stakes, make it suspenseful at least, unless one of
Okay.
them just wins on the two.
We will figure out another way to do this. Maybe like a call a friend. or something like
Yeah.
that.
At
That's what we
some
should have
point, maybe
done.
we'll have enough
Yeah.
subscribers to be able to have
To
a
go
live
live and let
poll.
it go. Yeah.
Um,
That's absolutely what should have. Yeah. Okay. 2 out of 3 coin tosses. Evil Dead 2013 on heads. Tucker and Dale versus Evil on tails.
all right. So we got the heads portion right there.
Mm-hmm.
We got tails right there. So we said Tucker and Dale is heads and
No, Evil Dead is
Evil Dead is
heads. Tucker and
heads.
Dale
Okay.
versus Evil is.
All right. So first flip goes to Tucker and Dale.
You got a tails
On the
on there?
first one. We got
Oh.
tails on the first one. So we will leave this coin as is. We're going to flip it again. Oh my gosh. Back to back. Tucker
man.
and Dale versus Evil.
I don't feel good about the win.
We need to go 4 out of 7 like they did for rock, paper, scissors and Tucker and Dale to figure out who's going to go fight the hillbillies.
Yeah. No, no. Tucker and Dale versus Evil. That is the
silver medal for
I
Evil
know.
Dead is still
this is our first.
bad.
I know it's not. Series 1 of the Tournament of Champions. We've had 2 episodes to it now. The first winner was Rats from 2024, which I know most of you haven't seen. And then
I feel vindicated getting Tucker and Dale when you got Rats on the first one. So I feel like the universe is evening itself out.
Maybe so, but
yeah, at some point we'll have to have a champions bracket once we get 12 champions.
Yeah,
and that's when the real battles begin.
Absolutely. I think I'm sad that Evil Dead 2013 didn't make it. It's definitely one of my top of this list. Just looking down at my favorite movies off of here, we're gonna be A Nightmare on Elm Street. Tucker and Dale was one of them. The Heretic, and Evil Dead 2013. Those are of what we watched. I thought that we watched 12 really great movies over the last few weeks. For the most
honestly
part.
Except for Tenebrae, we really got but we got we had some fun ripping on it. And you guys will see more of Dario Argento, and I will have a lot more to say about Italian horror flicks going forward.
I think I was still positive on Tenebrae, because there were some things I really liked about it, but yeah, that it fell through. This isn't the list for Tenebrae, but it's fair is fair. It's the 12th movie. I mean, Street Trash 87 also shouldn't have been up against Midsommar at any point in time on any list ever in the universe. So
that's true. Like the fact that they were on the same list it's just kind of wild.
That's what we should do. We should take all the losers from our first round, everybody that never made it out of the first round, and just go back.
As long as I don't have to watch the movies again, like I feel like I'll be all right.
Dude, you gotta watch them again. Second watches, they really form opinions.
I really don't think
Evil Dead 2013 did.
We're gonna have so many other horror movies to watch. I really just don't think that we'll have that time to commit to.
I know we've got stuff like Basket Case and Chud and Alligator. Like stuff that's really great. We just have to watch. Sharknado.
That's a horror movie, right?
I haven't seen Sharknado in forever. I remember in like one of the I think it's Sharknado 3, Mark Cuban was the president.
Yeah. So he at least got to be president in something. So
yeah. Well, he was president of basketball operations for the Dallas Mavericks for a while.
Yeah, and then he betrayed the franchise.
No.
And sold them off to this freaking. Don't even get me started on that.
We're not going off on
I miss you.
The Luka Doncic.
Come home.
But I get it. Well, guys, it's been fun. We have a new champion of the Tournament of Terror who will at some point in time face off against Rats.
Yes, at some point. We'll see how the seating works out there.
We'll do a random again. I like the random seating a lot better. Yeah. Plus,
and it actually kind of worked out. You know, we did have a top four that was pretty strong.
Yeah.
You just said,
actually, yeah, all four of them were great. Yeah. So, anyway, it's been Horror and the Hater. We'll catch you later.